there has been not only just love going around the world today, but there's also apologies going around as well. This has to do with Snoop Dogg. It's time for Let's Talk. Now you've got to be kidding me.
He needs some milk.
And cookies. Of course, today is a day of love, but also of forgiveness, right? So, anyway, just recently, Snoop Dogg was on his Instagram going off on Gayle King for basically the questions that she had with NBA star Lisa Leslie. And of course, he had a lot of things to say. He called her the B word, dog-headed, something like that. It was not a very pretty. It wasn't a very pretty video that he made. So, just the other day, just yesterday, he issued an apology directly to Gayle King. Here it is.
Top of the morning, Snoop Dogg coming at you live and direct with a message. Two wrongs don't make no right. When you're wrong, you gotta fix it. So with that being said, Gayle King, I publicly tore you down by coming at you in a derogatory manner based off of emotions, me being angry at questions that you asked. Overreacted. I should have handled it way different than that. I was raised way better than that. So I would like to apologize to you publicly for the language that I used and calling you out of your name and just being disrespectful. I didn't mean for it to be like that. I was just expressing myself for a friend that wasn't here to defend himself. A lot of people look up to me and they love me and they appreciate me, so I want to let them know that anytime you mess up, it's okay to fix it. It's okay to man up and say that you're wrong. I apologize. Hopefully we can sit down and talk privately. Have a good day.
All right. So Snoop Dogg actually apologizes to Gayle King about him saying some really bad things. I mean, he didn't really say anything that was very, very nice. It was a very, very colorful and very, obviously he was coming at her with passion and emotions, obviously, because Kobe had just passed and that was one of his homies. But my question to you is this. Should Gayle fully accept that apology, or is it too late? Is it a situation where it's too late? So for our Let's Talk segment, brought to you by Old Vienna, don't be a drag, get you a bag of them fiery and delicious red hot riblets. Do you think Snoop Dogg is in the right for wanting to send her an apology, or is it kind of too late? I'm going to go around the room. What you think, man? What you think, Lucas?
I don't think it's too late, because Snoop Dogg, like a lot of people, kind of overreacted and blew this whole thing up. It was really, in my opinion, taken out of context, this whole interview. They kind of just took that one piece. It's not like that was the first thing they went into. That wasn't the only thing they got into. It was a full-on, head-on interview about everything. And everyone saw that one clip and said, oh, this is wrong. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? This shouldn't have been talked about. It should have been about his whole life, even though the interview was kind of about his whole life. They just took that one clip out and just overblown it. Like Snoop Dogg, he kind of owned up to, I don't want to say like Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg owned up to him kind of overreacting to it,
right,
which is what a lot of people kind of should follow, because they're really, really just blowing this out of proportion, in my opinion. So, I really don't think it's too late. I give Snoop Dogg all the props for owning up and making that apology, because that seemed really kind of a sincere apology, not just like, oh, I'm having a gun to my head, have to apologize, read a script. That seemed like a real apology. Right.
Okay. That's very well thought out, my brother. Jackie Buck the Turd, what you think, man?
I do not think that she should accept the apology. And although that she did. But I mean,
I know.
But he threatened her. Like, do you listen to his whole video?
He really did. You know what?
Like, it ended in a threat.
You know what we need to do is we should pull up that
and it puts it in context.
that original video as well. But I know that it's hard to censor that one because he does drop some F-bombs and he calls her some really bad names and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he calls her the B word. He says, he does say, like, you know,
a dog-head B?
A dog-headed, ugly dog-headed something.
Yeah.
And but anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt the conversation.
It just is. I understand his wanting to defend his friend, And I understand that the whole context of the interview that Gayle did was, not just within that one question.
Right.
But I think maybe it was still too, as people say, too soon. Maybe for her to have that conversation about all of that and to bring that up at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I get Snoop's reaction, but in his reaction, he crossed the line. And I think that afterwards, and there was attorneys and things that were responding, saying like, "Oh, if you're coming at Gayle, we'll come right back at you." Like, I think that he was getting pressure for his response, and I think that I don't think it was that heartfelt. I think he made it sound heartfelt. He's an actor,
Right.
he knows how to put on a show.
What? I mean, yeah, sure, he's an actor, but I don't know.
Wait, you're saying I don't know if he can act?
Well, that too. But at the same time, I mean, that's not his primary thing.
Right.
You see what
no,
I'm
I'm just
Like,
saying because he can use the emotions. He can make it seem like it's more heartfelt than it is. I just don't.
I see what you're saying.
I think that it was too much pressure from outside things, and that because it was literally a threat. I imagine that he could get in trouble for putting that video out there. If Gayle wanted to, she could turn back around on him and say that she feels threatened and cops at his door for interrogating him.
Right. Okay. Excuse me. So you don't think that? Okay. So you really don't think she should have accepted his apology?
No.
Period.
No.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Maybe accept the apology for him responding in a harsh manner, but I wouldn't be able to accept the apology because of what was said.
Right.
I mean, he went to personal physical appearance attacks and then ended with a threat. So I mean, it wasn't like he was just rebuking her for what she said. He went on a personal attack on her.
He did go on a personal attack on her, but you also got to remember that, of course, he's emotional. He's feeling some type of way. He just lost one of his boys. His boy is dead and gone, dead and gone. All right. I'm sure he's sitting there mourning over him. Then he gets all this stuff sees all this stuff on media. So of course he's already torn up and upset about his boy's passing. Mm-hmm. So I would automatically think that, yeah, I mean, if you're an emotional person or if you are in an emotional state, sometimes you direct your anger at people that maybe you shouldn't have directed your anger towards.
Yeah.
So his anger and his frustrations and sadness are being directed towards her instead of being directed towards just trying to be able to have a chance to grieve. So that's one piece. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know that doesn't excuse anything.
You can be angry, but not insult.
True, but at the same time, I feel like he was saying what a lot of people were feeling at that particular moment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the moment when you don't have somebody, when you don't have somebody explaining the situation, where you're just getting the raw footage, you're just getting it raw, and you're seeing what the media is throwing out there, what social media is throwing out there, and that's all you're getting, and you're grieving and you're really upset. Yeah, you're gonna go to your phone and just be like, you better watch yourself,
right?
Because what you just said and what you just did is just out of line and totally messed up. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, I feel like at that moment, without even having her give a chance to respond to the media leaked footage, he was saying exactly what everybody was feeling at that time. When I saw that footage, I was like, what the hell? What the hell is that? But also, I didn't lose him in that way. He's not a personal friend of mine. He's not a blood relative. You know what I mean? He's not related to me. So, in that way. Mm-hmm. So, for him to lose his homie like that, and then those questions are being brought up. Yeah, I'd be really angry. But, some people turn to things differently. Mm-hmm. Some people respond to that kind of that type of situations differently. Right. Like him, he's got his arsenal of followers and people. So he's going, okay, I'm going to use the power of media, of my social media, to get my thoughts out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So when that kind of thing happens, it's like, all right, he's just going off a gut knee-jerk reaction, which is what everybody else was doing. We do have a comment here too. Missy says emotions were very raw when this all happened. I love Snoop, and I think he was just emotional when he said those things. She said accept and move on, just as she wants everyone to move on from her asking some poignant questions about Kobe in the interview that spurred the whole thing. So,
Right.
Missy has a good point. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, emotions were high, especially when Kobe has just passed
Right.
in such a tragic way. And I guess everyone's reaction is basically being echoed and sounded off by Snoop in that video. But now that she said, whoa, that part was not in the interview. That part was cut out and then put out there out of context and all that stuff. And if you watch the whole episode, the whole interview, it's a different story. Once she responded, I feel like everyone started to cool down just a tiny bit.
Right.
To the point where that's why he was like, hey, I'm going to issue an apology. One, because it was a knee-jerk reaction. And two, okay, my mama said that ain't cool, and I should know better.
Yeah.
And shout out to Snoop for still listening to his mama like that. You feel me? Still. Like, shout out to Snoop, man. Like, at least he has a head on his shoulders, in a way, to turn to his mom, or that his mom was like, oh, no, honey. No, you don't do that. Take that video down and apologize to that woman. You know what I mean?
Did he take it down?
I don't know if that video's down, and we can obviously look it up. But I personally think that it first and foremost, it was a knee-jerk reaction. He shouldn't have said what he said, regardless. He shouldn't have threatened her. That's not cool. But the fact
That's not cool.
that ain't cool. That ain't gangsta. But
Well, it is kind of gay.
it is kind of gangsta, actually. But you know what I'm saying. But I think that when it comes to that whole situation, the fact that he was man enough at least to go back onto his social media and say, hey, and give a very thorough and very heartfelt apology to Gayle, I think that really helps a lot. It at least helps. It at least helps. To the point where she did accept his apology,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
And she said
that's a good thing.
She said that she accepts it, and it was never her intention to add to the pain over Kobe's death.
exactly.
So
Yeah, and of course she's trying to dodge it as much as she can. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? She's trying to dodge the situation. But then at the same time, she hasn't really issued a full apology either in regards to the interview in the first place.
I don't think she felt like she needed to apologize.
Well, she did say, "Hey, this is what happened," and I feel like
explained it.
She explains why, like the video, and saying this is taken out of context and all that stuff, and this is so rude and wrong and all that stuff. But at the same time, has she really made an official apology to just the Bryant family?
No, because she doesn't feel like she did anything wrong. She goes. She made a statement. She said, "As a journalist, it is sometimes challenging to balance doing my job with the emotions and feelings during difficult times. I don't always get it perfect, but I'm constantly striving to do it with compassion and integrity." So, I mean, she doesn't feel like it was out of place.
Okay.
I'm with Jack. Gayle King does not need an apology. She does not owe one.
You don't think she needs to just say, "Hey, okay," because right now, okay, regardless, even just to save face, come on now.
She owes nothing.
Wow.
It's her job.
I'm saying even to save face.
No.
Like, look at no. Let's take this back real quick. Let's take it all the way back. Okay. What we now gonna do is go back. We're gonna go all the way back. Kevin Hart. Every single time that people were like, "Are you going to address the conversation? Are you going to apologize?" He's like, "I already apologized once. I don't need to apologize again. I don't want to talk about it."
Right.
And that messed him up. That whole situation messed him up. Now, obviously, Kevin Hart and Gayle King are two drastically different situations, but at the same time, it's the same approach. Oh, I don't feel like I need to apologize because I already addressed it. I've already addressed the situation. Think about it.
Yeah.
Shouldn't she just come out with just one soundbite saying, I am sorry, and to the Bryant family, I'm sorry. Boom.
So
done.
she should be
Wash
sorry.
her hands clean of it and walk out the door.
So you're saying she should be sorry because someone decided to take one clip out of her entire interview and just blown that out of proportion?
At the end of the day, at least it would save face and show that she's not a calloused woman just doing it just for views and just for TV ratings.
It's not like she was the one that
Just saying.
said, "Oh, this is the juicy part of the interview. Let's blow this one up."
No, and I'm not saying that. No. I know that she's not the one who put that video, but at the same time, she can literally just say, "I'm sorry." It's like what's the word when you eat crow? You know what I mean? You're just eating crow. You know what I'm saying? You're just doing it. Like maybe not saying that, not saying being like some calloused human being and just do it out of some weird sociopathic way of just saying, oh, I'm sorry, so I could just move on from it. But just saying you're sorry would transcend so much. And all this backlash and all these conversations and us talking about it would not be happening anymore. We would be moving on from it.
But she's a journalist.
If she gave one good, but there's so many journalists that have said so many messed up things, and they have gone up even with slippage of the tongue, and they'll get on the camera and say, "Hey, I'm really, really sorry for saying that one thing."
But this isn't like
or
a slippage of the
reporting
tongue
that
type
thing.
She doesn't feel like she did anything wrong.
If she's apologizing, what is she
Okay.
gonna say? I'm sorry for.
Wow.
Sorry, you feel bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is getting blown up. I'm sorry
Wow.
that this 2-minute part of my entire
Okay.
interview is getting blown up.
Okay.
and taken out of context.
But you don't understand. This is somebody who's an iconic person. This is an iconic figure.
Yeah.
This is somebody that everybody grew up with. This is somebody that celebrities still are mourning over. The NBA All-Star Weekend is this weekend. They're going to be doing nothing but honoring this man who did so much for the sport, all right, and for entertainment, period. So for the fact of that, let's just say that she should at least apologize just for that.
I still don't see it.
Okay.
I really don't.
We can agree to disagree on this
Yeah.
mug. Lucas,
I mean,
in the booth.
just my thing. It's not like she dove right into that topic. Like it's not like that's the lead there.
You're telling me right now that her just walking away from it is going to be okay. Sweeping it under the rug is only putting dirt under the rug. The rug is still laying on top of dirt. She's not picking it up and dealing with it. She's sweeping it under the rug, man.
See, I'm not saying like just do that. I'm just saying like
The
she
death
does
threats.
not owe an apology
The death
for
threats.
doing the interview.
The death threat. No, I'm not saying that. It's just saying I'm sorry. Just say you're sorry and
Sorry
just
for
keep
what,
it
though?
moving.
I don't see the. I'm sorry. I can see you're addressing it and explaining that this wasn't the idea I'm trying to get at, or
Yeah.
saying something along those lines. It's just saying I'm sorry just for what? I'm sorry for what?
Okay.
Okay.
No. This is not a Joe Pesci, Lethal Weapon. Okay. No. What I'm trying to say is I do believe that her addressing it in one final video or one final soundbite or just going on Oprah's platform or going on to her morning show, any of those things, and just saying, hey, this is what happened. I feel very sorry about that. I am sorry. We'll be right back with more things about Skittles. Whatever it is, and just move on. At least acknowledge the situation one last time. Say you're sorry. Make it an official statement, an official apology, and keeps it moving. Because I'm going to be real. A lot of people out here still don't think that she apologized to this day, son. Unless she has, since in the last overnight. But she hasn't apologized. You got Snoop Dogg being the bigger guy in a way, learning from his mistake and saying, hey, I'm making an official apology on my social media platform. He doesn't have CBS. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a platform like she does. She could easily go onto CBS or her morning show and go, hey, guys, I'm sorry. I'm just making this one final official announcement. I am so sorry. I did not know it was going to have that kind of backlash, but this is what I do for a living. She could still throw in her defense, but just say sorry.
If she does say a statement, it's going to be along those lines. There probably will be an apology, but not an apology saying, I'm sorry for doing this interview. It would probably be something like,
I'm sorry for hurting the Bryant family.
It'll be like, I understand why people are so upset about this part of the clip, but you have to understand that this is not the sole point of the interview, going to that topic. You have to, this is all being taken out of context. Go watch the entire interview, and you'll understand why we dove into this topic.
Now, I know that in the video that she did before, she did address certain things and all that. She talked about everything, you know. She did, to a certain extent, apologize, right? But I feel like people don't feel like she's officially made a real statement out there just to say, hey, I'm really sorry. Now,
I think she'll make one.
And I'm hoping that I really hope that she does.
But she's not going to say, I'm sorry for doing the interview. I'll tell you that. She shouldn't.
No. I'm not talking about that part. I'm just saying.
Or even I'm sorry for asking this question. Even I'll go there.
I feel like she should say I'm sorry for that. I think so. You know, I think there's a time and place for everything. She is a journalist. I agree completely. She's talking about his full life and full legacy and all that stuff. But at the same time,
if it's the full life and full legacy, and that type of interview, that should be at least some sort of discussion. I
agree.
I completely
with that.
understand the other side. It's a tough situation.
It's a tightrope.
Yeah,
it's a tightrope.
Would she have asked the question if it was 3 months later?
I think so. I think she would have.
Would there have been as much outrage?
No, not as much. I don't think.
She still has the same national platform.
She still has the same national platform, absolutely. But he just passed. Well, and we did talk about this in another episode where we were just like, okay, when is the right time to ask those kind of questions? When is the right time to talk about things that were a part of that person's history, a part of their life? Do we just throw those under the rug just because he scored a whole bunch of points and he was a super athlete, you know, genetic freak, you know what I'm saying? An amazing, you know, poetry in motion type of situation. Do we not talk about those things? And we did talk about that on the show. And I do feel like there's a time and place for everything. And I think that when it came to him passing, yeah, like you don't do it right after that, man. Come on. I just don't think, no. 3 months, sure. At least let's put the man in the ground first. He hasn't even put him in the ground.
For the Bryant family, bringing that up even later on is still going to have the same effect on them, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be tough.
Who you concerned about, the Bryant family or the fans? About the question, like who? Like,
okay, so some distance, some time off away from it, like when you say 3 months. I feel like that's a fair enough time. I feel like that you should be able to talk about those things later. But right when that man passes or that person passes and you're already pulling out warts and all, I don't know. That's a little too soon. It's too soon. I'll even say it about Trump too. If he was to pass and his tarnished career, I feel like it would be a little shooting. I'm not even, you know what I feel about our president right now? And in my head, in the back of my head, I'm like, put everything out there as soon as he passes. But then at the same time, it's like, well, where's the honor in that person who, you know, to that man's life? You see what I'm saying? But that's of course my own personal opinion on that. You know. Happy birthday. Anyway, comment down below. Let us know what you think. We would love to hear what you think. Obviously, this was Let's Talk, brought to you by Old Vienna. Don't be a drag. Get you a bag of those fiery, delicious, red hot riplets.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.